Yeah, boy! The summer anime season is here. Cue the lineup being on fire puns and all that jazz. Okay, look, here on the Anime Misfits, there's been a lot of experimenting, where long story short, seasonal content has been a little too dry. Luckily for me, this particular 2019 season is full of anime that I actually care about. So, you're about to hear my very biased first impressions of my personal frontrunners. Fire Force, a series by Atsushi Okubo of Soul Eater fame, and Dr. Stone, the anime that has invaded ads, emails, and even Times Square. More on that later, but for now, it's time to hear the phrase that's been done to death, yet perfect for people like me who can't think of a good transition. Let's just jump right into it! One thing about Fire Force, like many other hype shows before it, is the large amount of people that suddenly has come out of the woodwork before the show's release to brag about being in the loop before it was cool, with their pointed noses and stroked egos. So being part of the uncultured masses, I only just discovered the series during my live stream a couple days ago. From the premise alone, I was already on board. A show about firefighters, literally fighting fires. Next, they're gonna give me a show about super fighting Grim Reapers. Oh wait! Oh, no wonder they look so familiar, said the old Shannen of 3.5 days ago. Episode 1 was such a banger in being both an intro to the cast and concepts while still being self-contained enough to tell a mini story about gaining the courage to save people. I love Shinra Kusakabe and enjoyed his serious, energetic desires to be a hero without the cockiness that normally comes with a young shonen protagonist. The entire episode about why he wanted to join the force and what's his deal with his smile was pleasant to watch. And he's just so damn adorable. Look at him. I want to protect his smile. His sweet, sharky smile. Oh, it heals me. He just wanted to protect his mom and baby sibling, and then it all ironically comes up in flames. Don't hurt my boy. You become a hero, you shark-toothed angel. As for the rest of the cast, I found them also to be enjoyable, and I'm excited to know more about them as the series goes on. Though I'm still hesitant on the deal with Lieutenant Clipboard here, mainly for being mean to my precious cinnamon roll, but I have confidence that I'll come around to like him. Eventually. In episode 2, there was an addition of a guy named Arthur Boyle, who I swear reminds me of something, but it's just not hitting me yet. For now, I will say that the Soul Eater aesthetic is really showing off its colors now. The characters, the designs of the weird creepy guy in the corner, to how ominous the show can become when it's quiet. Compared to the first episode, the weight of the Fire Force's actions really hit home, since they need to be aware of the feelings of the survivors left behind. It gave me creepy vibes seeing how the infernal of this episode was just sitting there, damn it! Quietly accepting his death, as we, the viewers, are now visually aware that infernals can have sentience, which makes their suffering all the more conscious. It got me, man. It really got to me. My question for the rest of the series now is, will, like its predecessor before it, use madness as a trigger to what's going on and how we as a society overcome it? Sure, Soul Eater was about overcoming your fears, so maybe Fire Force will be about living to tomorrow or something like that. I don't know right now. I can tell you that this episode was very pleasant and made me think. The animation was sick, man! So fluid and pleasing to the eye. You'd think with a mostly warm color palette, it would be hard to see the characters move in the fire, but that's far from the truth. The designs of the uniforms were very smart because it was a good way to keep the viewer's attention while also being narratively symbolic to the story, which I will say was so fun to watch. I don't know how to describe it without sounding like a noob who doesn't know big words, but the fight between the Fire Force members and Anime Sedusa in episode 1 was choreographed with such finesse. It was like whoosh and wah and before shot through the heart. The flashback too, where the weird demon thingy showed up, was great for giving out the ominous vibes while still being plenty colorful, and it was here that the show reminded me most of Soul Eater. That and the smiling. All of the smiling. So overall, these first 2 episodes were amazing, and I give them 5 out of 5 awkward Shinra smiles. I'm gonna try and not do the thing I do every time and spoil myself with the manga. I'm just gonna enjoy the animated splendor with my fresh Fire Force virgin eyes.
And it was then that Shannen had realized her otaku enlightenment.
Wait a minute. Excalibur, overly nice to women, has blonde hair, and is a natural idiot? Oh my god! Arthur Boyle is hero! The meme is alive! The meme is alive! And now it's time for another fun-filled segment of Community Corner. The time where I highlight other outlets in the anime community in hopes that other people will have a look-see. Everyone, stop your idling and hold your underwear because it's What the What's birthday month! And in honor of that, I thought I'd tell you more about him. What the What is a fellow AniTuber with 8,000 plus subscribers and specializes in discussion pieces about various topics in anime around the community. From your ship never being canon to his extensive series on Love Live, you can always expect his reactionary opinion to hit you where it counts. In the noggin. But in a good way. Also, I haven't seen a community under a smaller YouTuber so dense and colorful before. You guys are all an unruly band of chaps. Don't change that about yourselves. So if you're looking for a wonderful bro in blue to celebrate in the month of apple pies and eagles flying high, then head on over to youtube.com/whatthewhat and check him out. Also, I really did like his I Don't Like AniTuber video, because it came from a genuine place that wasn't solely about bashing the community. So it's without saying that I wish you a happy birthday. Now if you know of any other creative outlets in this world of anime, comment about them down below or at Shannen on Twitter with the hashtag CommunityCorner and tell me all about it. In this time where community is more important than ever, while I may be one girl on the internet, I will always try my best.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
T minus 7 seconds.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
You're very welcome. I guess you can probably see that unlike Fire Force, I actually got to be one of those braggy mongrels far in the loop for once. And I regret nothing because Dr. Stone hype! This is one of the series that got me back into shonen as of recent. Its manga pulled me in with its heavy line work, funny faces, and focus on science. And it felt fresh looking at a series whose universe appreciates the challenge of using sci-fi elements in a post-isekai world without having to look like psychopaths. Plus, if you're someone like me who does love fantasy, I feel Dr. Stone will be a great buffer for fans of both the magical and mechanical. So as someone update to the manga, I can't help but notice my change in watching habits. Personally, I'm not looking for story accuracy or a point-by-point series of events, but rather in how Dr. Stone's anime will deliver a unique take on the material that justifies being plastered all over the place as this season's golden goose. Oh, let's talk about that for a second. Crunchyroll is pushing this series hard, like when it did for Magus Bride and what it did for Forced Politics and less showing of content, the anime. Long story short, I do like when Crunchyroll openly promotes anime to the masses, not just us hardcore fans. But Dr. Stone is going to become another example in how Crunchyroll are directly influencing what the fans should watch, which puts me in a weird moral conflict of business interest over fan discovery. But that's a video for another day. Episode 1. Dr. Stone was overall marvelous in my opinion, and to no one's surprise. I like the concept more than anything. Humanity is mysteriously Medusa'd into stone statues where a person's conscience is swirling in this weird rock limbo, as they stay that way for thousands of years, only for our main characters to break themselves free out of sheer will, and set on a mission to bring civilization back to its modern glory. How sick does that sound? Though as much as I love the premise, the characters in anime form surprisingly gave me a much different response. With Sankyu, I love how his Seiyu's soft-spoken voice relays that laid-back absurdity of his intellect, and yet I couldn't get into the character right away. I guess compared to my experience with the manga, I will have to wait until the show gets into full swing before my likability for him will grow. I mean, he's cool and all, but it's just not enough substance for a first episode with me. Taiju, on the other hand, I thought was perfectly played for how awkward his character is being animated. Maybe it's because he had a deeper voice than I thought he would, but I enjoyed having to get used to it, if that makes any sense. Just his overly forward nature is what gets me to care for him is all I'm saying. My favorite part was probably the time lapse of when they were experimenting on birds. Oh, that! Okay, here's a thought. Why did the Super Medusa beam affect the birds, but not that girl's dog in the beginning of the episode? I wouldn't be questioning it if the beam was only affected on humans, but what makes birds more human-y compared to other animals? Is it because they can fly? Because humans cannot fly? Or maybe it's the way they throw up food, like how a person would for a Taco Bell at 3 a.m. with college kids on shift who forget to remove the plastic that dropped in the vat of rice and cooked it into my burrito. Yes, I'm still salty about it. Episode 2, Tsukasa appears. Man, what a character. Anyone else have serious Wamu vibes? He's not only a great fighter, he's got this charismatic air around him to boot. And on top of that, with his voice in the anime, that may have discovered another crush in my arsenal. Wait, hold on. Yes, he's legal! I can fully say now that I would tap that without shame. If only his alternative motives didn't seem so spicy. Again, despite knowing what happens, I do love how the anime makes his backstory more emotional with the emphasis on color and voice direction. Though he murders the stone adults in this episode, I can never admit of hating the guy for his ideals. You have the golden opportunity to remake the world for the better. Why bring back people who you know will take it for themselves, or interestingly enough, the elderly who are about to expire anyway? It's a conversation that's very human and chock full of pros and cons, which I like, especially my love of Senku's answer in this episode being highly objective given his scientific ideals. Hey, at least Tsukasa is not like those dicks and Grashros who made the elderly their slaves, which would be a fun idea for a future video. Foreshadowing, perhaps? Besides that, I loved how Taiju was given a lot of fun moments this episode, from telling Senku they can't revive her unless they give her clothes first, to flat-out acknowledging he's simple in every definition of the word. Even if his yelling gets on my nerves, I can't help but be glad this show is animated just to see him. That's all I had to say about these series for now. I might make another one about these two series or another double impressions of other anime I like this season. I'm just surprised it's more than 3 this time. But it will only happen if you guys show your support with your likes, comments, subs, and bell notifications. You know that rigmarole. So I'm done. Just gonna watch more videos about people crying about no more national decks. Look man, half y'all still gonna buy it just for Wooloo alone. So quit your lollygagging and just chill man. Chill. Shannen, ow!